Hey, it's Mike Brennan. We're doing another segment on MITech TV. We have an old friend on the show, David Behen, Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder of SensCy, company that he co-founded with a lot of folks that I know, including the former governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder. So today we've got David. And David, let's start with the big picture. Why should small and medium-sized organizations be thinking seriously about cybersecurity right now?
Well, first of all, Mike and Matt, it's great to see you guys. Thanks for having me on the show again. I always love being on the show with you guys. Because Mike, is cyber scary. I mean, think about it right now. Small and medium-sized organizations, they sort of think they're not the target, but they are a target. And if you look, the data will suggest year over year, there's a 400% increase on attacks on small and medium-sized organizations. Think about it. I mean, if you're a bad actor, wouldn't you want to attack the smaller ones because maybe they don't have the technology team or the cybersecurity in place? And you can do 10 of those instead of one big one. And so small and medium sized organizations are under attack. And they're kind of the lifeblood of our economy. And so, what better way to give back to the community and do some good work uh, than working with small and medium sized organizations, help them protect themselves, make them spend. Let me put it this way: I love what I do now because I love that I can help make small and medium sized organizations safer from cybersecurity.
Well, in that regard, you recently have released a new report on small and medium-sized organizations' cybersecurity readiness. And I understand the numbers are a little bit scary. What are some of the key findings that stood out to you?
Yeah, they are scary, and I hope everyone, if you have a small or medium sized organization, even if you have a big organization, large organization, corporation, go ahead and read this because I'm sure you have partners who are small and medium sized organizations. It is scary data, Matt. And some of the data is, for example, only 20% of small and medium sized organizations have a dedicated cybersecurity budget,
Hmm.
that they're starting to focus on cybersecurity. I mean, I get it, right? You have a small company, small and medium sized organization. You want to build your product, sell your product, and live a good quality of life. And now you have this cyber that's knocking on your door and you have to address it. Only 47% have a cyber budget. And so, um, and then 54% of them think they're too small to be targeted. So think about that. I mean, it's just that these organizations don't understand cyber that well. And so what we want to do is help educate them on cybersecurity. One other one that I'll give that's kind of scary to me is only less than 40% have a cybersecurity incident response plan. And the national data will suggest if you don't have a cybersecurity incident response plan written and you get hit with a pretty significant cyber attack, you're going to be down for average of 22 days. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And so there's certain things that our report's going to highlight that organizations need to really start focusing on to make themselves safer.
One of the problems that I've discovered, and as you know, I've been covering cybersecurity for a long time, particularly with smaller businesses, they don't see it as a revenue center. And they go, why should I spend money on this? And you've decided a lot of reasons why that is. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, uh, like you said, 22 days down. I mean, what business can survive that, particularly if your
Exactly.
sales and marketing is all online, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of these things where cybersecurity is part of doing business now. I'll talk to organizations. I talk to organizations every day. And I'll always say to them, how many of you have HR policies? Literally every hand will go up in the room, right? When I'm talking to CEOs or CFOs or whatever. Then I'll say, how many of you have finance policies? Every hand goes up in the room, right? Because it's kind of the lifeblood of their organization. Cyber is one of those things nowadays that is a part of doing business. And so you have to spend some money on cybersecurity because that's the one thing that can stop your business just like that. And I really do believe organizations are starting to move in that direction. But cybersecurity is still the scary thing out there that organizations are having trouble kind of understanding and grasping, understand how important it is. But we're getting there, Mike. We're getting there.
Oh, that's certainly interesting. So tell me a little bit about, what steps your company's taking specifically to address some of those risks for small and mid-sized businesses.
Yeah. So what we do, Matt, is we help organizations create and implement proactive cybersecurity programs. And one of the things that I emphasize to everybody we work with is, look, we don't displace your small IT team or your managed service provider. We actually become an extension of your team and focus only on cybersecurity. You guys know I've been a CIO for large organizations for like almost the last 20 years. I don't want to do IT anymore. I want to do cyber. I want to partner with organizations to help make them safer. So what we do is we actually bring a cybersecurity, what's called our Sensible Cyber solution, and we help create and implement proactive cyber programs. Things around education awareness, evidence incident response plans, policies, vulnerability scans, and dark web scans. There's a whole suite of things we bring to an organization. Things that large organizations have a luxury of having, but in ours, one of the co-founders of SensCy, we really believe, I don't care what size organization you are, you should have access to this program so that you can become safer as an organization.
You mentioned earlier the SensCy Score, and on your background, I see it as well. Mm-hmm. What exactly is that, and why should people care about that?
So the SensCy Score is a proprietary algorithm we built. And how I describe it to people is, think about this as your credit score for cybersecurity for your organization. It's on a scale from 0 to 1,000. We ask you 39 questions, and at the very end of that 20-minute discussion, you get your SensCy Score. And you also start to understand, if you kind of correlate it to your own personal finance credit score, you really get it like that, right? I actually did one recently. You guys will laugh. I did one recently with a healthcare organization. And the healthcare organization, remember, it's a scale from 0 to 1,000. The healthcare organization scored a 413. The CEO of the organization looked at me and said, well, David, if it's 413 and that's like my personal credit score, can I buy a Corvette? And we start to laugh. I said, no, I'm not even sure you're going to be able to buy a Chevy Chevette. And he's sort of my age, so we knew what car that was, right? But it's an assessment of where you currently stand. And what I tell people all the time is, just assess yourself. See where you are from a cybersecurity perspective. Where do you fall on that 0 to 1,000 scale? Because then you at least know what kind of risk you're facing in your organization when it comes to cybersecurity. Then you can decide if you want to do something or not.
Yeah, you have to know what the risk is before you can address it. Certainly,
that's right. And having them understand, literally everyone I talk to understands their finance, their personal FICO score, their credit score. Now assign that to your company from a cybersecurity perspective, and it becomes instant jump. Oh, I get it now. And so now that's the beginning of the education process around cybersecurity when you start working with SensCy.
And go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, the first thing that you do too with these companies is, I believe you give them a free assessment just to show where they're at, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's the SensCy Score. It's a cyber health evaluation. 39 questions, takes about 30 minutes. It's more of a dialogue, and at the end of that 30 minutes, you get your SensCy Score. I then will create a scorecard for you. It's like when you go get your oil change and you're looking at the fluids, red, yellow, green. Your scorecard looks like that. It gives you a really good snapshot of what your cyber posture is for your small and medium-sized organization.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to the end of the segment here, a minute or two left. So I wanted to ask, if someone's watching this, they're wondering where to start. What's the first step you'd recommend? And where can people go to learn more or take that assessment?
Yeah. So first thing is, assess yourself, do a SensCy Score. That's the first step, without a doubt. You can reach out to me, David Behen, at davidbehen@senscy.com, or go to our website and you can click on to get your cyber health assessment, your SensCy Score, and someone from SensCy will reach out to you and set that up.